You see the charge on your bank statement again, the subscription you meant to cancel, the service you're still thinking about. You don't feel like you chose it, but it's still charging you. You didn't say yes to this expense. You also didn't say no. You told yourself you'd decide later. Later when you had more time. Later when you were less tired. Later when it felt more important. So the decision stayed open and the money kept moving. This happens quietly, not during big purchases, but during small, forgettable ones. A free trial didn't end. A membership you might use. A fee you plan to review next month. None of these feel like choices, but together they behave like one. The issue isn't irresponsibility, and it isn't laziness. It's how the human brain treats unfinished decisions. An unresolved choice doesn't feel expensive. It feels neutral, temporary, reversible. Your brain classifies it as not real yet, so it avoids the discomfort of deciding by postponing it. Even when postponement has a cost, money keeps leaving. But because no clear decision was made, there's no emotional signal attached to it. No regret, no satisfaction, just quiet leakage. I'll decide later feels harmless because later feels free. But later is not free. Later is rented time. And the rent is automatic payments. Every postponed decision becomes a default agreement with the system. The company doesn't need your confirmation. Silence counts as consent, and the longer the silence lasts, the harder the decision becomes, because now you're not deciding whether to keep something, you're deciding whether to admit you paid for it without choosing it. Here's where the cost compounds. The longer a decision stays open, the more effort it takes to close it. You think, I've already paid for a few months. Maybe I'll start using it. It's not that much. So the decision moves again. Later becomes later. At this point, you're no longer paying for the service. You're paying to avoid a moment of clarity. Not because clarity is hard, but because it forces closure. Your brain prefers open loops when closing them requires emotional friction. Deciding means acknowledging trade-offs, admitting priorities, accepting that saying yes to one thing means saying no to another. I'll decide later delays that discomfort, but money systems don't delay, they execute. So while your mind stays undecided, your finances become very decisive. Real-world examples, non-judgmental, stacked. This isn't just subscriptions, it's the extended warranty you didn't actively reject. The upgraded plan you never downgraded. The app you pay for just in case. Each one seems too small to think about. That's exactly why they work. Individually, they don't trigger alarm. Collectively, they form a shadow budget you never reviewed. The core realization. The most expensive decisions are often the ones you never finalize. Not because they're large, but because they stay open. Every "I'll decide later" is a decision to keep paying until the discomfort of deciding finally outweighs the cost of delay. And for many people, that moment never arrives. This isn't about cutting everything. It's not about becoming strict. It's about recognizing that undecided spending is still spending. Decisions don't disappear when we postpone them. They just stop feeling like choices and start behaving like habits. Practical mental shift, not a tip list. Instead of asking, "Do I want this?" ask, "If this renewed today for the first time, would I actively sign up?" That question collapses the illusion of later. It turns a passive expense back into an intentional one. Money rarely leaves in dramatic moments. It leaves in silence, through decisions we didn't finish, through choices we meant to revisit, through later. And the cost isn't just dollars. It's the loss of awareness, because the moment you stop deciding, your money decides for you.